Good evening. A former Highlands councillor spoke publicly today for the first time about the death of a man he and his sons are accused of killing in May 2008. Ken Brotherston and his sons, Ken Jr. and Greg, are on trial for the second-degree murder of Keith Taylor. The Senior Brotherston testified in Victoria Court today that it was self-defense when he choked a man to death. A man court was told was demanding $100,000 from Brotherston's family. The court alleges instead that what the three men committed was in fact a prolonged assault on the victim.
Brotherston told the court his version of the events leading up to the death of Keith Taylor on May 30th, 2008. He testified his two sons, Ken Jr. and Greg, were longtime crack addicts and had caused the family frequent problems. On the night of Taylor's death, Brotherston testified he was asked by Ken Jr. to go to an address on Betula Place, a known crack house, to deal with some sort of car insurance issue, but he could not say what that problem was. Brotherston said earlier in the evening he and Ken Jr. were at Bear Mountain in a pub drinking, and that he knew by buying drinks for his son he was contributing to Ken Jr. violating a court order. Brotherston testified that when he and Ken Jr. left Bear Mountain, his son told him that Keith Taylor had got in his face and that the Brotherston family owed Keith Taylor $100,000. Brotherston says he was on his way to Betula Place to speak to Keith Taylor when he picked up his son, Greg. The elder Brotherston testified Greg was high and agitated, and he only picked him up to see how he was doing and to ask him if he owed Keith Taylor money. Under cross-examination, the elder Brotherston acknowledged he knew that someone named Keith had ordered a hit on Greg, and that two men had previously attacked his son with a metal pipe. But Brotherston Sr. said it never entered his mind that Keith was Keith Taylor, who he was on his way to meet. When the three men arrived at Betula Place, the former Highlands councillor says Taylor, in a drug-fueled state, pointed a gun at his head and threatened to kill him. Brotherston says to defend himself, he had to choke Taylor twice. The three men then loaded Taylor into Brotherston's pickup truck and drove the unconscious man to the West Shore RCMP. But before they arrived, his two sons bolted from the vehicle. Crown Counsel will continue to cross-examine Ken Brotherston Sr. tomorrow. In Victoria, Stephen Andrew, 8 News.